Hello everyone, welcome back to Ace Attorney Investigations. Today we're gonna try to finish the game, finish the case, hopefully, if possible. Do the last part or parts, and yeah, make a grand conclusion to the first game in the collection. One of two. Alright, so without further ado, let's get back to it. March 15th, 2:11 a.m., the Atrium Neutralis lobby. I can't believe it, sir. Extraterritoriality. Yes, there's nothing we can really do about that. In the end, we didn't have enough authority to bring him to justice. Can't believe that even though we know he's the boss, we can't lay a finger on him. I know. Hey, Mr. Prosecutor. Sorry to skip out on you, but I've got some business to take care of. If we can't even give an evil guy like him a slap on the wrist, then what the heck were laws created for? What good are they? The law can't help us. I'll go as Yatagarasu and take care of this myself. Don't you dare. Mr. Edgeworth. Sorry, that was a bit too harsh. I know how you feel, so we're trying to take on an ambassador after all. He did tell us earlier to get out of the theater. This is kind of their country, I guess. But I feel like I've been slapped across the face for just doing my job. What am I going to do? Should I retreat for now and formulate a better plan of attack? Come on, everyone, we can't give up yet. Okay. Oh, why don't you think about something, Grassak? We've never let up for even a second, and as long as we don't stop investigating, we might find the rotten treasure hidden here. She's right! Come on, Miss Edgeworth. You're right, Kay. Very well, let us reopen the investigation and see what we find. Come on, Kay. Right behind you. Okay, then I'll go check out Babel a bit more, sir. And I have some things that I need to investigate further in Alabast. Now then, before I gather any more information, I should do a bit of housekeeping. Is Alba gonna let Francesca investigate? She has her ways. I'm sure she'll manage to think of something. Ambassador Alba seemed agitated over something. I wonder why. There are two special circumstances that surround the ambassador. First, the embassy itself has extraterritorial rights. If something happens on Albastian soil, we are unable to legally prosecute it. Cool, it sounds like embassies are the perfect place to steal whatever you want. And Murder de Mas too run a smuggling operation and make counterfeit bills, apparently. But I thought all the counterfeiting was done by Mr. Cochin in Babel. Yes, they apparently used the embassy's coupon printing press to do it. But it's the same story over there anyway. Babel also has extraterritorial rights. Which brings me to my next point. The ambassador's extraterritorial rights. Those rights are effective even in our own country. Really? No matter what happens, he can never be tried in our courts. He retains some very special rights indeed. Basically, no matter what wrongs he may commit, we can't bring him to trial here. So I guess we really don't stand a chance, do we? We might stand a chance if we can somehow nullify either one of his special rights. These flowers were sent by Globus Studios. Globus Studios? That's where they filmed Steam. This was taken just before the two ambassadors gave their bouquets to the Steel Samurai. Wait, is it just my imagination? Or is there something in this picture that I've seen before? I won't rest until I inspected every suspicious-looking nook and cranny. There's that troublemaker, standing there smack in the center, making two peace signs. Wow, the Sea Samurai stands out even more than the two ambassadors in this picture. Oh hey, the person playing the Sea Samurai is one of your friends, right? No, I have no idea who he is. Wait, but you just said he! You knew which gender he was, so you must know him, right? I beg that you please refrain from talking about that person with me ever again. Mr. Belena has a really great smile, don't you think? I bet he was really happy that they were going to become Kadobi again. Perhaps. But instead, he became the greatest victim in today's case. An ambassador like him, who was always thinking of his country, is really to be admired. Yeah, although this happened, I hope they'll be able to reunite the country someday. I hope so as well, but for that to happen, we need to solve this case first. We need to see to it that those who would harm the new Kadobi are locked away. And we will. Seems that lilies are at the center of this bouquet with an accent of chamomile. Wow, I can totally smell the wonderful fragrance. Okay, this is just a picture. Look, I know that. But it's nice to imagine things once in a while, you know? Where's your sense of empathy? If you can smell the fragrance of flowers from a photo, that's more like a hallucination. You don't have to be mean about it. Let's just drop this before it's in full bloom. I can't believe he was pretending to be a harmless old grandpa. Talk about deceptive. I don't suppose anyone expected him to change that drastically. I bet he's thinking of something evil behind that cheery smile. Okay, please try to remain calm and focus on the here and now. Yeah, you're right. Sorry I got all worked up there. Well, the only way we're going to be able to steal the truth is if we keep on investigating. It appears to be a bouquet of Persian cyclamens and roses. Wow, you even know the exact species. I never would have figured you for an expert on flowers. It's all because of those flowers that old lady sends me every month. Just look at me. I sound like some sort of botanist. So, what exactly is this yellow flower here? That one... I'm not sure. What? You don't know? As far as I can recall, I've never seen a flower like this before. But I feel as though I've seen this shape somewhere before. It's a counterfeit plate used to make counterfeit Zheng Fa bills. It's incredibly detailed and even includes a phoenix taking off into the sky. With plates as finely crafted as these, it's no wonder the fakes are so hard to spot. I thought these loops were just an eccentric design quirk, but who knew that they were actually arrow fletchings? Oh, the dagger! There's a striking flower ornament on the handle of this knife. Compared to the Babyliss knife's handle, this larger one gives Alabas more presence. That's it. This is how he smuggled the knife. Eureka! Babel's national symbol is the butterfly and Alabas is the flower. It would appear that someone is employing the old hide a tree in a forest trick. What are you mumbling to yourself about? Wait, what? The handle on this knife... Ah! Yeah, it's the handle that was supposed to be on the blade that killed Mr. Cochin. The weapon that killed him was carried through the Theatrum Neutralis, in the very bouquet Ambassador Alba was carrying. Interesting. The flower motif. Looks like one of the flower petals is missing. Ooh, and take a look at the weapon itself. It's missing the exact same petal. Then the knife in this photo is most definitely the same as this murder weapon. Okay, well, now what? Flowers were sent by a variety of good people. It was his summer received some flowers from the ambassadors. Soon it became here. It's like a wedding ceremony. I believe the flowers for those are for a slightly different reason. What do you mean? This event was supposed to be like a wedding between Alabas and Babel, right? Actually, I believe they're more in a state of divorce. Okay, then this event was supposed to be their remarriage ceremony. I suppose you could call it that. Hello, and welcome to the Embassy of Babel. I'm sorry, but I don't really need to enter your country at this time. Right now, for a limited time here at the Babylese Embassy, we're offering the very special Experience the Terrifying Fire's Ashes tour. So how about it? Shall I sign you up? We're fine, thanks. I have an investigation to run. All the orders, Ambassador Alba, no one was allowed into Alabas. But I thought a lady with a whip passed through here not too long ago. She is from Interpol and had the proper paperwork. So, while I was reluctant, I had to let her in. Sounds like Francesca, alright. Besides, if I didn't, that would be first. Yep, definitely Francesca. Jeez, what did she do with that whip? Yes? We've come too far to give up. We must expose Ambassador Alba's misdeeds, Passageway. Yes, of course. And we've got to find a way to steal the truth and get it out there, for my father's sake. Yes, and we will. The reason for Ambassador Alba's nervousness must still be here somewhere. Furthermore, I need to pin down exactly what happened in here. I'll start by thoroughly examining this room for any information I can find. Passageway, if you don't pay attention, Ambassador Alba's going to get away. Yes, I know. Now hurry up and do that swing thing you always do. I have no idea what you are talking about. What? You don't? Oh, come on, you know what I'm talking about. That thing you do. Are you talking about logic? Yes, that's it. So hurry up and let's swing already. Alright. To be honest, it's been a bit hard to connect everything up until now by just looking. However, I should be able to piece things together if I take another look at my leads. Perhaps now is the time to use logic and reason. Perhaps now is the time to use logic and reason my way to the truth. Alright. Let's just save, just in case. And then let's try to piece some things together. The pieces don't fit together quite right. Are you still here? Are you still trying to force me to admit? You people have no reason to still be here. Now please leave. I'm afraid I can't do that. If you won't leave on your own, I will have no choice but to force you out. Hold it. I don't believe we'll be meeting again, however, I will pray for your success. We're not through here yet. Ha 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 ha! Gnurk. Is this it? Thus the truth was lost for all eternity. Stupid. Just because I couldn't see where one thing fit with the other, the whole investigation ended. Francesca went home, Gumshoe went home, they didn't find anything, I didn't find anything, we all just went home, and we went to sleep, and that was the end. What are you talking about? Okay, well, I guess that was wrong. We know that the counterfeit bills were printed using the embassy's press, but the necessary materials, such as the Babyliss ink and paper, must have been hidden in a secure location. But what do you think would have happened if the renovation had begun? Well, he probably had to find a better hiding place or get rid of it all. Right, so we can assume that the renovation was the cause of the plate and bills disposal, and the reason Mr. Cochin was killed as the ringleader of the smuggling operation. Based on what we know, who do you think was the one with the most to gain? With the most to gain? I guess... I mean... Yeah... This feels like a trick question because it's too obvious. Yeah, it has to be Alba, right? It's the one person who has been erasing all evidence of the smuggling operation. From both embassies, the co-conspirator who is mopping up, Ambassador Alba. Ambassador Alba had a very strong motive to kill Manny Cochin. The cause of Ambassador Alba's agitation, the rotten treasure we may find, and the motive for killing Mr. Cochin. Miss Yu said it herself that she didn't kill anyone tonight. If we were to take her words at face value, then the reason for the ambassador's nervousness can only be one thing. He didn't want us to discover the real circumstances under which Mr. Cochin was killed. Then you mean Ambassador Alba is the real killer? But I thought the two of them were friends. Maybe they were, but what if Mr. Cochin was the one who first betrayed their friendship? Oh, I get it. Wasn't Mr. Cochin pushing really hard for Mr. Polino to be ambassador after the reunification? Yes, and that was the real reason why he wanted to steal Alabast's Prima statue. So Mr. Cochin hired Damas II to go steal it for him. But when Ambassador Alba found out what he was up to, he killed Mr. Cochin? It is definitely a possibility at this point. Those two really were thinking of no one but themselves. The question now is, how did he do it? Ambassador Alba was in Alabast. Mr. Cochin's body was discovered in Babel, right? Right, and that is what we must solve next. I believe we now understand why Ambassador Alba was so nervous and agitated. It must have something to do with where Mr. Cochin was killed. A place where the Alabastian ambassador was likely to meet the Babyliss Mr. Cochin. The place where Ambassador Alba happened to have committed the murder is... the only place where they could meet together without drawing too many eyes. Too much suspicion.
Take that!
The only place that makes sense is here, at the Theatrum Neutralis. What? Here? The Goodwill event was being held here today, correct? So the only place that both of them would have been in is here. But if that's the case, then everything changes. This theater isn't actually Alabastian land. So that wipes out one of those extraterritorial rights he has. It makes logical sense, in which case, it is a reason for us to investigate further. So what should we check out? Let's see. I believe we should check the immigration records for both Alabast and Babel post-haste. Babel's records should be easy to obtain, however, the problem will be Alabast. I wonder if they would allow us to see their records despite the order to vacate.
Objection!
I'm already one step ahead of you, Miles Edgevest. Francisco. I have here the security footage from both Alabast and Babel. You would do well to take a look at its contents. You move fast. I won't come and strive to be perfect in every way. It's not in my nature to keep on retreating like this. I took the liberty of looking over the Babel investigation report as well. From now on, you will make no excuse to back down or say that we can't solve this case. I'm sorry about earlier. We won't be beaten, because my cute little subordinate is going to try his very best, isn't he? Hasn't she patronized me enough already for a lifetime? So this video contains footage from Alabast's immigration screening area. I really hope there's something in here that we can use. Let's find out. Oh. Which minute's footage should I examine? This man is the immigration officer who was on duty. He's making a really scary face, even though there's no one around to see it. I wonder if he's just a grumpy sort, although that wouldn't do much for tourism. Hey, he smiled a little just now. I wonder if he recalled something funny. Well, even if he did, he still has that hard glare in his eyes. It would appear that he was born with stern-looking eyes. The eyes are fitting for someone in the security business, I'd say. Yeah. Ooh, I remember all these posters. I wonder what they're of. I do remember a bunch of these hanging in that hallway. I believe they were all related to tourism and sightseeing. In Alabas? Impossible. For Babel, I could believe that, however... No, there were posters promoting tourist traps in this country. And I believe they were mostly of Gatewater land. I see. So they were targeted at the embassy staff. It's a door leading into the Theatrum Neutralis. I tried so hard to get through this door, but I just couldn't get in. But it felt so great when I finally was allowed to go through there. You know what I really wanted to do, though? I wanted to try sneaking my way in. At least nothing seems out of the ordinary with the door. For now. 5:21 p.m. That's just after the end of the Steel Samurai stage show. Correct. We were still inside the theater itself around this time, all because Mr. Edgeworth wouldn't get out of his seat. Wanted to show the actors my appreciation for a bit and soak in the atmosphere. Yeah, with your eyes closed and a complete lack of motion except for some breathing. I don't know what you're talking about. This man is the immigration officer. Okay, there's new stuff. This man is the immigration officer who is on duty. He's making the exact same scary face that he was making a minute ago. Wait, is it just me or is he blushing? It appears that he gets flustered around the ambassador. I guess the ambassador is well respected inside Alabas too. You could say that. The guy doesn't appear to be capable of looking at the ambassador. 5:22 p.m. Around this time, the Steel Samurai stage show had come to an end. And Ambassador Alba was making his way back to his office. And then later, he shook hands with the Steel Samurai in his office. And then he was going to give a speech in the Rose Garden. Being an ambassador sounds like a busy, busy job. It's like someone is always stealing your time away. Yes, I'd imagine something like that. Despite how busy he was, he still managed to find the time to kill Mr. Kojin and move his body somehow from the Theatrum Neutralis. Those are posters of this country's tourist spots, though most are of Gatewater land. I wonder if Alabasians in general like theme parks at all. The guy who stopped you has been to Gatewater land a number of times apparently. I guess they don't have theme parks in Alabas, eh? It's a door leading into the Theatrum Neutralis. The more the guy tried to keep me out, the more I want to get in. It's human nature. But I guess I can't complain too much. I did get let inside in the end. At least nothing seems out of the ordinary with the door. I can't believe how completely fooled I was by the way he carried himself. He had me fooled too. According to the files I had sent for earlier, Ambassador Alba was a Kudopian hero. He saves the royal family from danger countless times. So what puzzled me is why a man like that create a smuggling ring? Even with all the authority I still haven't been able to figure out why. Sounds like the ambassador was a hero who was corrupted by evil. And no matter what happened in the past, we can't let the man he is now escape justice. "5:23 p.m. This is just after the end of the Steel Samurai stage show. After I had been given that autograph. You totally had stars in your eyes at that time, Miss Edgeworth. I most certainly did not. You had stars in your eyes because of an autograph you received from that man? Miss Edgeworth, you've just lost any respect I had left for you. I believe it's time to change the subject. It appears that he is inspecting the person coming into the country. Are you kidding? It's more like he's not checking the Steel Samurai. Then they gave me such a hard time. There are certain risks involved when you give some people preferential treatment. There certainly is a variety of posters on this wall. It's kinda hard to see what's written on them, so they just look festive, you know? Thus are all tourism posters for this country, although most are of Gatewater land. Wonder if Albasians actually go to Gatewater land for fun. It's just really hard to imagine them hanging out there. True, they do seem to be a nation of extremely serious people. It's a door connecting that hallway in this theater. Nothing appears to be out of the ordinary. Indeed. On the outside, he may look like the Steel Samurai, but on the inside, it's just leather. As in the fact that it's that good for nothing. As in the fact that it's that good for nothing else seems out of order. Wait, you know as well as I that anything can happen if he's involved. You're not suggesting that someone else could be under that mask, are you? No, I don't think that. Just before I entered here, he gave me an autograph, so I'm certain it's Larry under there. Doesn't something about this lump shape strike you as odd? Huh? Isn't it supposed to be this shape? No, there is clearly something odd about the bulb. If only we had the push card itself, we could compare and confirm my hunch. He did say that his son was missing. Next, let us check the footage from Babel's security cam. I hope it shows us something good. Phooey! There wasn't a single sign of a suspicious person or anything. That right there is the contradiction. Huh? Did I miss something? You didn't miss anything. Because there was nothing to miss. However, what is missing is the image of Mr. Cochin entering his own country. Wasn't his body found in Babel? It would appear that the true face of our final puzzle has finally revealed itself. Finally. Oh. Ambassador Alba! I thought I'd ask for you and your group to vacate the premises, Mr. Edgeworth. Actually, I thought I should let you know that this theater sits on my country's soil. You've had your fun, and I've enjoyed our little game. I dare say that you've even achieved a new high score. However, once you've recorded the score, that same game can never be replayed again. Do you understand what I'm saying to you? Your game is done, and it's game over. No, I still have another life.
Objection!
Where do you think you're going at this time of night? After admitting to my crime, I was overcome with regret. So I'm heading to the airport now to return home. I'm afraid I can't let you do that. There are still too many issues we need to discuss with you. You can't stop me, Mr. Edgeworth, and you know it. Please, may I have a little bit of your time, Ambassador Alba? Ambassador Polino? Even just a teeny tiny bit is fine with me. The already strained relationship between our countries isn't a precarious situation, you know? Very well, if you insist. I will play just one more round with them and see what they want. Not that they'll get any farther. Ambassador Polino. Mr. Edgeworth, all I wish for is the normalization of relationships between our two countries. But there is one person standing in the way of that dream. I believe in you. You'll do what's right. Thank you for your vote of confidence. Now then, what was it you wanted to ask me about? I do have a flight to catch after all. So I'm afraid I'm going to have to limit you to just one question. That's more than enough, because I only have one question anyway. I want you to hear your alibi about how you couldn't have killed Mr. Manikoshin. Oh, I see. You seem to have a good hand this time around. This should be fun. This really is the very last chance we have to bring him down. I won't allow even an atom-sized contradiction to slip by. Here we go. Frankly, I still don't understand why I'm being placed under suspicion here. Under your hypothetical scenario, Mr. Cochin and I were fellow smugglers. But to get to the point, I was in Alabas the whole time. So it's simply not possible for me to have killed him in Babel. That is my alibi. So that is your alibi? That is correct. Simply not possible for me to have committed a crime in Babel. Now that we clear that up, I appreciate it if you move out of my way.
Hold it!
I said hold it. What is it this time? I thought I told you I'd only allow one question. You did. But you still have yet to really answer my one question. What? Until you tell us the truth, I will refuse to budge an inch from where I'm standing. Very well. I'll play with you just a little longer. Master Vest, as my subordinate and my representative of this country's prosecutors, you are forbidden to lose. Of course, that is something I have understood from the start. That guy's the one who ordered my father killed, isn't he? Yes, I believe so. The goal of the first Yatagarasu was the capture of the smuggling ring's leader. My father, Uncle Bad, their legacy will live on through me. So that's why you've just got to catch him, okay? We will. I promise. Now, Ambassador Alba, let's have it the truth now, shall we? No matter how many times you ask, my answer remains the same. Frankly, I still don't understand why I'm being placed under suspicion here.
Hold it!
Being the leader of a smuggling ring while taking on the duties of ambassadorship, don't you think that the combination is more than enough reason for suspicion? Then there is the matter of the crossbow arrows and the primitive statues. All of that is nothing more than your flights of fancy. What do you mean by that? Under your hypothetical scenario, Mr. Coach and I were fellow smugglers.
Hold it!
It's not a hypothesis. Earlier we proved it to be what happened. Well, let's leave that to one side for now. Because it doesn't change the fact that I have no motive. Oh, so you really had no reason to kill Mr. Gochin? If you want to suppose I had one, then why not? I'll indulge you. After all, this is nothing more than a silly game to me. Even if that's how you see things, I appreciate it if you would take me seriously. I'm sorry. Suppose you are in a bit of a pickle. Very well. The game is no fun if the playing field isn't level. Therefore, I formally claim that I had no motive to kill. Now let's see you disprove it. How can he stand there looking proud when he knows he killed another human being? Well, I'm not going to stand by and just watch him get away with his crimes. In that case, what motive would I have had to kill my co-conspirator?
Hold it!
Are you serious that just because you were partners that you had no motive to kill? I'm only following your hypothetical scenario to its logical conclusion. It's like he's not going to admit it himself that he was in league with Mr. Cochin. I suppose not. But I do know his relation to the smuggling ring and to Mr. Cochin. You mean he's the ringleader and that Mr. Cochin was his subordinate, right? Correct, but I know more than just that. Ms. Von Karma, I'm sure you remember the safe in Mr. Cochin's office, correct? Yes. The safe had 2 compartments to it, didn't it? Yes, and why do you think those stolen goods were being stored in Mr. Cochin's office? Could it be because he was trying to cheat Ambassador Alba behind his back? So, Mr. Cochin didn't turn the goods over, but decided to keep them for himself? I suppose that's possible. Seems to me that both men were only concerned with their own wealth and well-being. And that means that maybe they didn't have a trusting relationship after all. What Ambassador Alba had to gain? I believe that is his motive for killing Mr. Cochin. What are you people whispering about amongst yourselves over there? I'm sorry to have kept you waiting. Now then, let's continue with your testimony. But to get to the point, I was in Alabas the whole time.
Hold it!
And what exactly did you do while you were in Alabas? I had a meeting with the Steel Samurai, and then I arranged a few files. Around that time, the thief who was sneaking in took me by surprise.
Objection!
You saying that it was Damastus that made the first move? Yes, and it was after I was attacked that I hit him on the head with the Primidu statue. Unfortunately, he died from the blow, but it was an act of justified self-defense.
Objection!
Calling it that doesn't cover up what you really did. Cover up? No, my boy, I'm not covering up anything. I'm telling the truth. You weren't planning to admit to it, which is why you tried to fight the Steel Samurai. If you weren't an ambassador, I'd be letting my whip fly loose on you right now. I am terribly sorry that I didn't clean up the body better, but I'm a busy man. I had a speech to give in the Rose Garden after that, you know.
Objection!
Yet despite that, you still had time to kill Mr. Cochin, didn't you? Man is evil, and I'm sure you are familiar with the facts, but Mr. Cochin was killed in Babel while I was all the way in Alabast. So it's simply not possible for me to have killed him in Babel. That is my alibi.
Hold it!
You insist that it's not possible for you to have killed Mr. Cochin in Babel, and you are correct. Oh, I thought you would put up a bit more of a fight, but if you must concede to me, the only thing I'm conceding is that it's not possible for you to kill him in Babel. I am not conceding that your alibi is the truth. Oh, I see. However, no matter how you try, know that you can't crush my alibi. Huh. You would be wise not to underestimate a prosecutor of this country. We'll see about that. So, Mr. Cochin was a friend of Ambassador Alba. If that's true, then why did the ambassador kill him? It's not like in the case of my father where he ordered someone to do it. The problem we have here is that we don't know what their exact relationship was. Indeed, if they had complete trust in each other, then there is no motive for murder. However, both men were very selfish, and I believe that is from where his motive arose.
Objection!
That statement just now stands in clear contradiction to this evidence. No, it doesn't. But that's impossible. Prosecutors of this country, are you all prone to pointing out non-existent contradictions? How frightening it is to think that it might be true. I can't let him drag me down with his insults. So, Mr. Cochin was a friend of Ambassador Alba. That's true. Why did Ambassador kill him? Not like the case of my father where someone do it. Problem is, there is actually a real relationship. They had complete trust in each other, then there is no motive for murder. However, both men were very selfish, and I believe that is... Okay.
Objection! Objection!
Ah. Yes, okay. If you want to know, I believe you did have a motive to kill. It was because Mr. Cochin had betrayed you. But you had your own reason too. Namely, you wanted to pin the smuggling all on him. Evil begets evil, and because you were trying to test each other, it turned into this mess.
Objection!
I don't believe this. You have a bad penchant for telling tall tales, Mr. Prosecutor. And if you're not, then I suppose you have some proof to support your argument? I never use guesswork in moving my cases forward. It has been proven that this note was written by Mr. Cochin's hand. Shall we take a look at it? The content of the note is a request calling for the theft of Alabas Primitive statue. By killing him and pushing all of the guilt for the smuggling onto him, you walk away spotless. I believe you understand what I'm driving at. You had more than a few reasons to kill him. Are you finished with your hypothesizing? Excuse me? Let's suppose I did have a motive. Even so, a motive or a thought alone can't kill. Isn't that right? I'm expecting to resort to playing the semantics game with me. It appears that this is where the real battle will begin. Now then, if you'll excuse me. Wait, what? I told you at the very beginning, didn't I? You only get one question. Mr. Alba, if you could please give it just a little bit more of your time. Doesn't matter what kind of man he was my subordinate. Which is why I would like for us to figure out the real cause of his death. That is something for Babel to figure out, and something to which I have no relationship. Now he's even turning down a request from Ambassador Polino. I'm very sorry, but it seems that now even my voice falls on deaf ears. There's no need for you to apologize, Ambassador Polino. Let's find some way to stop him from leaving. Seems that there are no further objections. In that case, please allow me to return home. See ya. Oh. Hold it right there, Ambassador Alba. Okay. Like I said, Miss Edgeworth, the Atagrasso's legacy will live on through me. Yes, but how do you suggest we stop him from leaving? You just leave that to me. Ambassador Alba, do you recognize this? No, and why should I recognize that tired old organizer? Wait, where have I seen that before? That is a clue my father, Ben Faraday, left for us. Did you say Ben Faraday? Mr. Faraday's organizer? Don't tell me this is the one from the second KG8 incident. The one in which he wrote about the Atagrasso's key. Yes, this organizer belonged to the prosecutor you had Miss Yu kill 7 years ago. I have no idea what you're talking about. You say that like it was related to me. Inside this organizer, he wrote up every detail of every evil thing you did. What an amusing little girl you are. But that sort of trickery won't work on me. If you won't believe me, then take a look at this. And what is that toy there? That's... This thievery device was used by the Atagrasso, or rather, by my father. 7 years ago, he used this when he snuck into this embassy. What? These two pieces of evidence that hold information the Atagrasso dug up on you. If you go home now, I won't hesitate to send it all to Alabas right behind you. Little girl, get to the point. I want you to go up against Miss Edgeworth one more time. If you win, then I'll hand over these two pieces of evidence. Atagrasso, I've got a thorn in my side. Okay, does that organizer really contain any information on his dirty dealing? It's nothing case-breaking, really. Ah, then it was just a bluff. Even if it was, we still can't let all the info my father and Uncle Bad found go to waste. Plus, just the existence of a thief is troublesome enough for him. Those two pieces. Aren't they keepsakes of your father? It's okay, I believe in Miss Edgeworth. He'll come out on top in the end. Okay. When the going gets tough, someone's gotta be there to put the wind back in your sails. After all this time, you're still quite the feisty one. I applaud your powerful nature. I refuse to lose this, too. Ambassador Alba, you won't be returning home until you give us further testimony. How dare you all, barring a person like me. Ambassador Alba, your testimony, if you please. Alright, but this is the absolute last. Then, even if you use all the power of Ambassador Polino's office, you won't stop me. I can't let this opportunity Kay has created for me to go to waste. Alright, part 2. Let's see what he's got for us. Last time I met with Mr. Cochin was here at the Theatrum Neutralis. After that, I was in Alabas the rest of the time, as I stated earlier. In any case, I did not see Mr. Cochin again after that. So you see, there's no time span in which I could have killed him. Wouldn't you agree? Now, since you people were practically begging, I'll allow you to question me. What an arrogant old man. Yes, but no matter. We can't allow this chance to escape us. I will warn you, though, you've reached the end of my patience. Waste my time with any inane questions and you will be punished. So any needless pressing or presenting will hurt our case. In that case, the only thing you can do is to present the correct evidence. Understood? Of course. I don't intend to let him intimidate me. I know Mr. Cochin was killed before he returned to Babel. In which case, there is only one statement to which I need to present the evidence. Okay. Yeah. So... so we just present the security footage? Is that it?
Objection!
That statement directly contradicts this piece of evidence. Does it now? Not that it really matters to me either way. But are you really sure my statement contradicts that piece of evidence? Yeah, rewind time. Okay. I feel like the security footage is right, but press. Do I need to press first? Do I need to? Okay, let's try pressing first.
Hold it!
So you never saw Mr. Cochin again after you left the theater? That's correct. I'm an incredibly busy man, you know. So it's more likely that Mr. Cochin routed to Ambassador Polino. Even now, you'll push his murder onto someone else. How dare you! Saying that I would kill Manny? Ambassador Alba, I demand that you refrain from making baseless conjectures. I was merely offering a possibility. No, this won't do. I can already see this is turning into an international incident. Who exactly is pressing who here? In any case, what I need to do is stay positive and forge on. Now then, will that be all? No, wait! I'm not finished yet.
Objection!
You're not very good at listening, are you? I told you I don't have the time to listen to a bunch of useless questions. Okay. Okay, I see. Okay. I think, yeah. So the problem was we jumped ahead a little bit. We're not trying to prove how he smuggled Cochin out. We're trying to prove how he could have killed Cochin in the theater. And to prove that, we have to show that he smuggled the murder weapon in the theater with the roses, or the flowers.
Objection!
So, there you go. Okay. I'd like you to take a look at this picture. It's a rather nice picture, isn't it? It was to commemorate the restoration of relations between our nations. Oh, it's commemorative, alright. One that captures the proof I need to show that it was you who committed the murder. Come again? This is the knife that killed Mr. Cochin. I see you recognize it as well you should, for it was you who brought it to the theater. You hid it in among the flowers you owed to give the Steel Samurai, meaning that you killed Manny Cochin here at the theater. It's time for me to catch my flight.
Objection!
We're not through yet.
Objection!
It's game over for you, Mr. Edgeworth, but I thank you for the entertainment. No matter how passionately you orate, the end result will still be the same. I won't be returning to this country ever again. That's right. This man is an ambassador, and he has extraterritorial rights. No matter how hard we chase after him, we won't be able to have him tried in court. Yes, that's exactly the face you should be making. The face of a worthless cur. Now then, ladies and gentlemen, I must bid you farewell. The courts. Is there no one who can lay a finger on this man? Is this really the end? Not so fast. It's me, Larry Butts, here to save you.
Not so fast!
Oh, okay. Agent Lang! Sorry to keep you waiting, Mr. Prosecutor. Get out of my way! My plane is scheduled to take off soon. Sorry, but you're not going anywhere, Mr. Alba. I'm through playing games with you people. Can't touch me! If you do, it would spark an international incident, Agent Lang. Sorry, but no, it wouldn't. What? Hey, Mr. Prosecutor. Good job holding the fort down here until I got back. So, Mr. Alba, your diplomatic immunity has just been revoked. What do you mean, revoked? Spare me this nonsense and let me through. Lang Zi says before aiming for the throat, chew the neck shield off first. Interpol headquarters and the Imperial household of the Kingdom of Alabast took a while to get things rolling, but they finally moved on it. The Imperial household? You! What have you done? You have been relieved of your duties as ambassador, Mr. Alba. What? Effective today, effective right now. And we have Mr. Prosecutor's video tape to thank for this. The video data could also protect it. You can't be arrested simply because you're an ambassador. In that case, I thought I'd strip you of that title. You underestimated me, descendant of the founder of detainment philosophy, Lang Zi. 4,000 years of deeply entrenched connections and networks around the world have really paid off. It can't be! I don't believe this! My mastership has been revoked? Ha 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 ha! Looks like you're finally coming to grips with your understanding. Woohoo! Looks like he's turned docile again. He's probably in shock from the loss of his shield. What a shame. I had so wanted to use my whip on him. Why is this happening to me? I'm just a hard-working, honest ambassador. Do you really think you can still pull that on us now? I've already ripped away the mask and seen you for who you really are, Mr. Alba.
Objection!
No, I won't be stopped now. He still intends to fight us? So what if I'm no longer an ambassador? You still don't have any evidence on me. Fact remains that you cannot arrest me. I'd expected no less from you, the boss of the smuggling ring. Well, the rest is up to you, Mr. Prosecutor. Understood. You say that I killed Mr. Coach in the theater? But even if it's true that there was a knife in my bouquet, I left that bouquet in the theater. So anyone could have taken it out from there and used it, right? Besides, the claim that he was killed here itself is odd. After all, wasn't his body discovered in Babel? Are you claiming that I carried his body all the way over there? Huh, preposterous.
Objection!
I'll be the one to prove whether it's preposterous or not. Ex-Ambassador Alba, are you ready? Because this is no game. This is war. This is a war game, if you will. War games. Okay, here we go. I killed Mr. Cochin in the theater using a knife that was stuck in my bouquet. I left that bouquet in the theater. Anyone could have taken the knife from there. Besides, Mr. Cochin's body was covered in the Babel, right? There is no way for me to have transported his body from the theater to Babel. Look, don't you think you've had enough fun with me? You've already stolen my ambassadorship from me. Would you have me surrender too? You have no plans to ever return to this country, isn't that right? Did you know that a bunch of your subordinates are seeking asylum because of you? As if I care. Hey, Mr. Prosecutor, boot this guy out of the embassy. We can finally end everything. I know, and I will give it my all to see that he leaves in handcuffs. Without the title of ambassador, he's just another witness. Yes, just another witness. Alright, what are we waiting for? Let's get this guy. And get him good. I wonder if they understand that all I can do is present evidence to the testimony. It's what the evidence represents is what's important here. I killed Mr. Kochin in the theater using a knife that was stuck in my bouquet.
Hold it!
That's right. As I explained earlier, the commemorative photo shows that you had the knife on your personage.
Objection!
You have no proof that the bouquet was prepared by me, isn't that right? Excuse me? The fact that there was a knife in the bouquet was something I wasn't aware of.
Not so fast!
What a pathetic excuse! The weapon that was used is one of your national treasures. It isn't exactly something anyone other than you could touch, let alone take. I allowed some of my trusted subordinates to handle them. Could have been my secretary. You're an even bigger slimeball than I thought. You would push the guilt of Mr. Kochin's murder onto one of your subordinates? In any case, the fact that the knife was in the bouquet means nothing. I left that bouquet in the theater. Anyone could have taken the knife from there.
Hold it!
You still wish to deny your actions. And you still wish to deny reality and accuse me of murder? What? I'm not in denial. Even though he's not an ambassador anymore, he's still got a real bad attitude. I believe it's because he's no longer ambassador that he can let himself speak freely. Well, if he's not holding anything back, then neither should I. Wait! For the sake of the case, please refrain from what I think you're about to do. Quite the pair of frightening women you are, but I digress. Besides, Mr. Kochin's body was discovered in Babel, right?
Hold it!
Even if he was found in Babel, he was killed somewhere else.
Objection!
Stop bluffing, because you can't prove what you're claiming. If this were a court-martial in my country, you'd have already been removed from the room. Are you taunting us on purpose? I'd be happy to show you my claws.
Hold it!
Hold on, Agent Lang. Allow me to fight in my way, with evidence. I was just joking. I'm not so easily ruffled by the likes of him. Too bad. Though I'm no longer an ambassador, it still could have been an international incident. If you have the will to threaten us with that mouth of yours, then perhaps you can use it to return to the testimony. Very well. But to be fair, you should watch what you say as well. There is no way for me to have transported his body from the theater to Babel.
Hold it!
Is that really so? You could have easily blackmailed your subordinates to be quiet and then moved the body.
Objection!
That's quite an insult to me and my subordinates, and I'm afraid we can't have that. It's very difficult to enter my embassy as the guards always conduct a thorough check. If someone so much as makes an unnatural movement, it will arouse their suspicions. Come to think of it, there wasn't anything unnatural about him in the footage. The footage. Wait, let me think about that for a second. Mr. Alba said that the guard would become suspicious if someone acted unnaturally. But then, by the same token, the guard would not become suspicious if someone were to act naturally. If we retrace Mr. Alba's movements, we should find some hint to solving this case. Well, right after the Seal Samurai stage show, he went back to Alabas, right? From there, he started preparing for a speech in the Alabasian embassy. It does sound like it wasn't possible for him to have gone to the Babylese embassy. He couldn't have gone to Babel, but the body didn't remain at the theater either. Is it possible that the body was temporarily taken to a different location first?
Objection!
Here we go. Actually, I do believe there was a way to transport the body out of the theater. Perhaps we should give this a look. What is that supposed to be? It's footage from a security camera that captured the state of the immigration area. Should I congratulate you on getting your hands on it? Just letting you know that we're not the only ones watching your every movement. Thank you for the warning. Now, if you could take a good look at this section here. This lump here inside the pushcart. Do you know what's causing it? Should I? 'Cause I don't. In that case, allow me to enlighten you. This is the cause of the unnatural lump under the cloth in the pushcart.
Take that!
What is the meaning of showing me that? It's to say that the unnatural bulge in the pushcart is Mr. Kochin's body. You had the Steel Samurai wheel his body away from the real crime scene. What a guess. But I wonder if you have any evidence to support it. I admit that for now it's but a hypothesis, however. If you can't prove that, I'm afraid I must be on my way. I don't have any more time to play with you people. Sorry it took so long, Mr. Edgeworth. Gummy? Detective Gumshoe, is that the Steel Samurai's pushcart? Yes, sir. I found it in the open air stage area. So that's where you went. Detective Spear, the Pops left me with. I thought I'd follow my gut and go with it, sir. So, Miss Edgewood, is this worth anything to the case? Yes. It just might play a major role in solving this case, Detective. But something isn't right. I thought that the entire samurai family was in Alabast. Where exactly in the open air stage area did you find this pushcart? I found it just lying there at the edge of the stage, sir. Oh, well, let's leave that for now and examine the inside, Detective. Yes, sir. Steel Samurai Daddy used this pushcart to wheel the Iron Infant around. The Iron Infant, the Steel Samurai's, and the Pink Princess's kid, right? Yes, he made an appearance at the end of the stage show. It was a rather fitting ending to the whole thing. That the Steel Samurai was unwittingly forced to move the body is just unforgivable. It's blood! This must be Mr. Cochin's blood, which only goes to prove that Mr. Cochin's body was indeed transported by this pushcart. I believe you understand what this means, correct? You killed Mr. Cochin at the theater and then placed his body inside the pushcart. And then you forced the Steel Samurai to unwittingly move the body for you.
Objection.
I forced him to move the body into Alabast? What nonsense! Why would I bother to do such a thing?
Objection.
You were scheduled to make a speech in Alabast, meaning it was difficult for you to make a stop in Babel. However, what if you moved the body to Alabast? Because it was your embassy, you could keep an eye on it and tamper with the evidence. And then you smuggled it out of Alabast. No! If I can show how you moved the body from Alabast to Babel, then I win. But you can't! The security between the two countries is incredibly tight. I'll be the one to judge whether I can or cannot prove it, and so I ask you to provide us with testimony regarding your movements after your return to Alabast. Mas Edgeworth, have you figured it out? Do you know how the body was moved? To be honest, I have nothing to support my hypothesis at this time. However, I don't believe I've made a mistake in my logic up until this point. Which means there's no questions that can't be answered, right? Primitive statue was smuggled successfully through a brief flight through the air. So why shouldn't there be an answer as to how the body was moved? Which means that there must be a logic flaw somewhere I can exploit. After I returned to Alabasta, I had my picture taken with the Steel Samurai shaking hands. Then, just as I was about to start my speech, Yatagarasu appeared. I feared for the national treasures, so I raced back to my office. Is that all? Yes, that's all.
Objection!
It looks like you left out a few things. Such as the murder of Damask too. Furthermore, you left out the part about meeting with me in your office. Ah, those trifling matters. I don't believe I need to speak of those things again. I do so hate to waste time. What? You. Is not every life precious? Do you really need me to answer that for you?
Objection.
People like you cannot be allowed to wander freely through society. Then you better try hard, because I doubt you'll find a single contradiction. He's really full of himself, isn't he? Yes, he is. How can he be so confident at a time like this? Come, don't be shy. Go ahead and ask whatever you'd like. Interesting. Okay. I think we need more testimony before we know what our next move is. After I returned to Alabas, I had my picture taken with the Steel Samurai, shaking hands.
Hold it!
So why was it only with the Steel Samurai? I thought the Pink Princess was also around. Pink Princess was suffering from a bad hip at the time. And the doctors recommended that she rest. Wow, so you do have a soft side after all. Pain of a bad hip. I suppose none of you can really understand how it feels. Oh, so you tend to strain your back as well, huh? But isn't that just because you're normally all hunched over? You did need to keep up the act no matter what, I suppose. Point of this is not to discuss my back problems. For about 15 minutes after our handshake, I was in my office preparing for the speech. Then, just as I was about to start my speech, the Atagarasu appeared.
Hold it!
That Atagarasu was just a trick that you had set up. A most amusing joke. And how do you propose that I set it up? If you really want to know, I can explain it in detail for you. You arranged the spotlights in the Rose Garden so that when you were to take the stage, the audience would see the Yatogarasu's shadow. Oh, that is an interesting tale. Sadly, it has nothing to do with me. You! What is it gonna take for you to fess up to anything? Very well then, let's move on to a different question. After the Yatogarasu appeared, what was the state of the Rose Garden? Everyone took refuge inside the embassy. I even helped with the effort. And then once everyone was inside, well, I feared for the national treasure, so I raced back to my office.
Hold it!
And what happened after you returned to your office? I don't want to keep on repeating this, however, upon my return I had that stroke of bad luck and bumped into Masked Man.
Objection!
And I don't want to keep on repeating this either. But his name was Damask too. Who cares what he was called? By the time he got to the primitive statue that he was supposed to steal, it had already been swapped with a fake. Talk about an unlucky man. Being bludgeoned to death with a fake statue. This Wakama is really letting her whip fly now. Eek! I think the scary part is her silence while she's doing it. She must be at the limit of her patience as well. But physical attacks are meaningless here. Only evidence will suffice. I can't find a single flaw in his argument. At this rate, I won't be able to prove that he is actually guilty of anything. Are we finished here? Mazajves, can you not come up with how the body was moved to Babel? Sure. Miss Edgeworth. Even after proving so much, is he going to get away with it? This is the end? This is the end. Hold your breath. Oh. Hold it! It appears that we made it just in time. It will be a great honor if you'd allow us to be your allies in battle.
Evil magistrate, it's time for you to pay!
It's the Steel Samurai? No, you are mistaken. For I am Steel Samurai Daddy, married man of New York, Tokyo. This is Pink Princess Mommy. Poo! Two people that I want to see the least. Larry! What are you two doing here?
Listen, Kaidonashi! You want to show peace?
I'm gonna get the bad guy with a single thrust of my samurai spear. Go away! How can it be with so many words, Boo? Oh, three of us came to lend a hand, and this is how you treat us. Well, isn't this grand? And I see they managed to find the Iron Infant. Does that really matter right now? Hey! Is it just me or is the Iron Infant completely soaked? Oh yeah! I found him in Babel, but he was in the middle of the pool. Wait a second. Larry, go back to what you just said. Huh? Oh, it appears that we made it. Not that far back. Something about finding the Iron Infant in Babel? We found it in a pool. I don't recall there being one in Babel. Oh, that! Well, I was in Albas the whole time. So I have no idea how the Iron Infant wound up in Babel. I thought I had lost him in the Rose Garden. But I guess maybe this cute kid can swim, huh? Wait, what? Larry, you lost the Iron Infant in the Rose Garden. Are you sure about that? Yeah, I'm sure. But I found him in...
Hold it!
That's enough, Larry. It's a connecting tunnel. The Iron Infant that Larry lost managed to move between the two countries. Furthermore, the Iron Infant was found soaked in the middle of a pool. This is what I've been looking for. It's another smuggling route between the countries. The key to the route the Iron Infant took to travel from Alabasta to Babel is... Ah, that's right. This embassy was built with bilateral symmetry in mind. Detective Gumshoe.
Yes, sir?
There's a location I wish for you to examine post haste. It is where I believe the route used to smuggle Mr. Cochin's body lies.
Does something like that really exist, sir?
An embassy built on bilateral symmetry, meaning that this is where we need to examine.
Take that!
Yes, sir. I'll be back before you know it.
It's too late. Doesn't matter now what you do, it's all a waste of time.
You will stay here with us and wait.
This is Edgeworth.
Mr. Edgeworth, it's here, sir. There is a reservoir here just like in the Rose Garden.
Just as I suspected.
What is it?
The two sides of this embassy are mirror images of each other, which means that there is also a pool at the corresponding location on the Babylese side. Mr. Cochin's body was moved to Babel through the pool in Alabasta. Avoiding the topic with a vague answer like that is unbecoming of a prosecutor. If you don't mind, I'd like to see more physical proof if you have any. The Iron Infant is possibly soaked in water. Why do you think that is? It's because he was fished out of a pool, not just any pool. It was the Babylese one. I think it's pretty obvious at this point what must be true. The water reservoirs in the two courtyards are connected. Where is your proof that the two sides are connected? The proof is right there before your eyes. The half-drowned Iron Infant. What? This blessed doll!
Mr. Edgeworth, I'm back.
Hey!
You tell me, you guys figured everything out without me?
We did, thanks to this hero of Justice's son. Even if he is just a doll, he managed to help foil the villain.
Hey, Mr. Prosecutor, look, I don't want to say this, but it's kind of unlucky that the body just happened to have passed on through to Babel. This guy's a doll and he's small, so I can believe it made it, but...
He has a point. Yes, that's right. Glad someone here understands. Mr. Edgeworth, are you gonna next propose that a dead body can swim through a pipe?
See, Mr. Prosecutor, our chase after this man is far from over.
Agent Lang? Why is he helping Mr. Alba out now? He's not. He realized the flaw in my argument and is helping to move the logic along. In which case, I should return the favor and find an answer.
Another thing, Mr. Cochin's body was found in his office in Babel. So what happened to his body after it was transported to the open air stage?
Mr. Alba had an accomplice in Babel, remember?
You mean Sheena? Right?
With her there, you can see how it's possible to move the body up to the office. Are you serious to claim that she swam through the connecting pipe with the body?
He's right. Miss Sheena would drown if she did that.
It's hard to imagine that she swam through the connecting pipe. Looks like your hypothesis about how the body was moved is still only half-baked. In the end, it's all just the befuddled musings of an accusatory man. Now then, I believe you should give up and allow me passage. Because from the start, there was no feasible method of transporting the body.
What? Mr. Prosecutor, recall Sheena's movements.
What was happening in the embassy around the time Miss Sheena was in Babel? Oh, if only there was a way to get rid of the water in the pool. Get rid of the water.
Uh-huh. That's it.
Now I believe this time we really are done, right?
Objection!
Unfortunately for you, it's far from over, Mr. Alba. You are a most persistent man. Are you saying that you've thought of a way to move the body through the water? Move the body through the water? That is completely unrelated to how it was done. Excuse me? The reason I say this is because there wasn't any water there at the time.
What do you mean, there wasn't any water?
Just what it sounds like. Tonight's events made it possible to drain the water, allowing the body to be moved.
Take that!
What is the meaning of this? What is that supposed to prove? Yes, what is this supposed to be, Detective Gumshoe? Me? I have no idea, sir. Mr. Edgeworth, that question was directed at you. It would appear that I presented the wrong piece of evidence. It would seem that you didn't hear me just now, so let's try it again, shall we? Alright, and I'll prove it to you with the evidence. Tonight's events made it possible to drain the water, allowing the body to be moved. Tonight's events. So, the photo? Let me double check. Oh, tonight's events. The fire? Okay. There's nothing here that talks about the water being drained, but okay.
Take that!
Tonight, the Edgards were set fire to a variety of locations in the Babylonis embassy. In order to put the fires out, much of the reservoir's water was used. Was that ever brought up? I never heard anyone talk about that. Did anyone say that they used the water from the reservoir to put out the fires? I just, assumed that they used, fire extinguishers. Like normal people. Okay. If you say so. Of course, when the water was used, the reservoir's water level went down. If enough water was drained, the connecting pipe could be used to traverse the border.
Objection!
So what? The water level went down. Reservoirs were connected. Does any of this matter? You can't prove any of this. Pretending to be ignorant won't work with me. We both know what kind of situation we're in right now. Even in a game, there comes a critical game-changing moment. A moment in which you hit a wall that you must overcome in order to beat the game. I haven't lost yet. I found the route you use to smuggle the body, and that route will lead to your defeat.
Not so fast!
Even if all the water is used by the firefighting efforts, still can't really call that a smuggling route.
I know that.
I should have figured that you would notice. Hey, Mr. Alba, how deep are those pools anyway?
I'll have you know, those pools are extremely deep. And there are no ladders or footholds along the walls either.
It would be difficult for Sheena to hold the body and climb up out of the pool.
Ladders or footholds along the walls? There was no need for such things. What do you mean? If one were to use a certain something, they could go up or down in the pool at will.
Oh, looks like you've got an answer already. Well, what are you waiting for, Mr. Prosecutor? Enlighten us already.
The way in which Miss Sheena and the body were able to rise up to ground level, if there was a way to control the water level, that could be the way the body was moved. This was used so that the body and Miss Sheena could move up and down in the pool.
Take that!
Mr. Alba used the fountain spouts in a manner of speaking.
Use the fountain spouts? How so?
The water level in the pools can be controlled by opening and closing the spouts. Miss Sheena and the body were lifted upward by their buoyancy in water. The fire on the Babli side and the firefighting effort, these were set in motion all for the sake of smuggling Mr. Kojin's body. Shall I show you where the final destination of my train of logic leads? First, Mr. Albert closed the fountain spouts in advance in preparation for things to come. Then he took the pushcart that was brought to the rose garden and pushed it along with the iron infant and Mr. Cochran's body into the pool. At this time, Miss Sheena was busy conveniently starting the first fire in Babel. She then made for the open-air stage's pool to wait for the firefighting effort to begin. When the firefighters used the water in that pool, the water level went down. And by the time the fire was put out, a pipe between the two pools was exposed. This is when she pushed the pushcart from Alabas into Babel. Once that was accomplished, Mr. Alba simply opened the fountain spouts once more. And the water level rose up to its original level, along with Miss Sheena and the body. After that, Miss Sheena used the pushcart to carry the body up to the Secretariat's office. There's an elevator in the embassy after all, so you see, even with her small frame, she could have easily transported Mr. Cochran's body. And that wraps up my thorough explanation of how the body was moved. Well, ex-Ambassador Alba, what do you think? Not so untouchable without your precious extraterritorial rights to protect you, are you? I knew you could do it, Miss Edgeworth. Way to fight back. You accuse me of moving the body across country lines? When you get down to the nitty-gritty, you don't have what it takes to indict me. The nitty-gritty? What does that old man want now? Proof, I believe, is what he seeks. Yes, proof. Without any, who is to say whether or not any of what you said really happened? He wants proof? What are you going to do, Miss Edgeworth? There is no need to worry. I've had all the proof we need all along. The body wasn't the only thing to go through the pool's connecting pipes tonight. Just as Detective Gumshoe found the pushcart in the open air stage area, so too did I find one other item there. And that piece of evidence is what will prove that the pools were the smuggling route. This was another thing that was smuggled over to Babel's open air stage area.
Take that!
And what exactly is this? You have no idea, do you? This little piece that I found on the Babel East side will be your undoing. A guitar pick? Would you care to explain how that is going to do me in, as it were? Much to your chagrin, perhaps. But this is not a guitar pick. What? This is something I found on the open air stage which was transported with the body. I naturally assumed that you would recognize it, since you took a photo with it after all. But since you don't, allow me to show you what this fragment from the stage area belongs to. I have no idea. The knife? Kinda looks like the pedal on the knife. Yeah. Could be that.
Take that!
Let us take a good look at the murder weapon that was used to kill Manny Ketchum. On the handle of this knife there is a beautifully blooming flower. However, it would appear that it's missing a single petal. Now let's see what happens when we try to fit this pick in that open slot. It's a perfect fit! I assume that the petal must have fallen off of the flower during Mr. Cochran's murder. And then it was accidentally placed into the pushcart along with Mr. Cochran's body. That's an interesting story, nothing more. But... I mean, the petal was missing already before... Oh! Okay. I mistook Polano for Cochin. Yeah, so, yeah, this picture could have been taken after Cochin was murdered. Yeah, okay. Fair enough.
Objection!
Oh, I assure you, it's more than just a story. Because for some odd reason, this flower petal was wet when I found it. It was wet? You say? Yes, and the only place it could have gotten wet from is the open air stage's pool. Okay, prove it was wet. Now I ask you, how did a part of the weapon which was smuggled into the theater wind up in the open air stage area on the Babel East side of the embassy? I don't think I need to waste any words explaining this, as this battle explains it all for me. It proves that someone went from the Rose Gardens pool on through into Babel. Impossible!
People of Sanctify have been waiting to see you, face to face, Mr. Alba. I'll tell everyone back home we'll be there soon. You should be happy.
Why? Why? It's a little late to be asking that question. You should have known from the very beginning, when you took your first life. No matter how you may plot, or how you may try to cover it all up, you can never hide from your crime and what you've done. Because we're here to see to it that justice is served to people like you. You can't call what you've given a perfect argument. You know, I don't think this guy is going to ever admit to his wrongdoings, Mr. Edgeworth. Because he values himself above all else. People who can't be negotiated with, or people who refuse to admit when they've lost. I don't believe those kinds of people really exist, because everyone breaks eventually. You're right. In that case, I have no choice but to use all of the evidence I have. I'll use it all until he breaks under the weight of his crime. Mr. Alba, I request that you testify once more. This really will be the end of the line. To be continued. Alright. This is it, guys. The final testimony. It's all been leading up to this. One final testimony. Even though, you know, it's probably not gonna be, because this was supposed to be the final testimony, but then we ended up with 3 more testimonies on top of it. But, you know, it is what it is. Alright. Well. What are we waiting for? Let's get back to it. March 15th, 3:33 a.m., Theatrum Neutralis, lobby. Mr. Alba, I request that you testify once more. As if there is anything else for me to testify about. I still have yet to fully prove that it was Mr. Alba who murdered Mr. Kocher. Well, I would like to hear about your movements before the murder occurred. I wonder if you could tell us about what you did here at the Theatrum Neutralis. Very well, I suppose I could tell you about that. because about all I did was watch the Steel Samurai stage show. Elaborating on even that alone is good enough for me. The only way for me to place this man under arrest is to pinpoint the exact location of where the murder took place, for that is the key to this investigation. Here we go. I watched from the last row. The stage was well lit, but it was dark out in the audience. I swear I was there in the audience, but it's hard to prove that, I suppose. I don't remember the contents of the show very well, though. Is that proof enough for you? Those moving scenes were seared to this old man's heart. I'll never forget him. So you were in the theater proper, watching the Steel Samurai stage show, were you? Of course I was. I have a great fondness for the Steel Samurai. Yeah, I was pretty cool up there, wasn't I? You're not the one who was cool. It's the Steel Samurai who's cool. Yeah, and the Steel Samurai's special finishing move today was really something, huh? Hey, who is it? Ooh, it's a super cute girl. She's been standing here this whole time and only now he knows, Her name is Kay Faraday, and she's helping me in my investigation. Sorry I didn't get to introduce myself earlier, but better late than never. Yeah, it's okay. I'm Larry Bird. Silence in the peanut gallery. There's no time for such trivialities at a time like this.
Mr. Prosecutor, this is the final battle, you got that?
I know. This is the end. For that man there.
That's the kind of thing I like to hear. I think I'll give trusting you a try, Mr. Prosecutor. Or rather, Mr. Edgeworth. I'll leave this critical battle up to you, Mr. Edgeworth.
Have no fear, I will finish the job. This really is the endgame. Time has come to expose every last one of Mr. Alba's lies. I watched from the last row. The stage was well lit, but it was dark out in the audience.
Hold it!
Last row. I should think that an ambassador would have had special seating reserved. I wanted my staff to enjoy the Steel Samurai show as well, so I gave up all of the good seats for him. It was enough for me to simply see him. Hey, the Samurai's the only hero!
Let's not forget about the Pink Princess here.
My dear madam, if you continue to thrust about like that, your hip may begin to hurt again.
Oh my, well, aren't you the considerate person you want to be? But this young butterfly is on the edge of is on the side of Edgy Poo.
So you can spare me the full changes, come on! Wow, he's completely frozen. In frustration, perhaps. I dare say she can be one rather trying opponent. In any case, Mr. Alba, can you actually prove to us that you were watching the show? I swear I was there in the audience, but it's hard to prove that, I suppose.
Hold it!
Are you admitting then that you have no way of proving to us that you were watching?
Objection!
Quiet! You buzz in my ear like a pesky little fly. If you don't wish to listen quietly until the end of what I have to say, then perhaps you should pack up and get out of my way. I see that you're willing to be a bit more receptive now. While it's true that it may be difficult to prove that I was out in the audience, I do remember the contents of the show very well, though. Is that proof enough for you?
Hold it!
Well, I remember the contents of the show as well, myself. That's nice. That's nice? Nice at best. Don't allow yourself to be riled up by him at this important juncture. I was planning to let him. Well, if you ask me, I think I'm the biggest Steel Samurai expert around here. And did you think the climax of today's show was really awesome? Yes, yes, I remember that well. And that spectacular special move? The way you delivered the final blow against the evil magistrate, early summer rain jab. Oh, that scene will live on in my heart forever. Is that how it went? I totally forgot about that. How can you forget your own special moves? That's a special attack that the Steel Samurai uses when he's using the Samurai Spear. Yes, and today was the first time they showed it off, was it not? If I hadn't watched the show, then how could I answer you with the name of the move? I suppose you are correct, but if you could, please elaborate on this point for me. One of the scenes was of his never-before-seen early summer rain jab move.
Hold it!
Early summer rain jab was a move that was to be unveiled today. And because I saw that brand new special move, I believe it confirms my alibi. How sad. The only way he's got to protect himself is that he watched the Steel Samurai. I guess this guy really has nothing else left. Yes, and to avoid arrest, you can bet he'll say or do anything. But with all of us here, there will be no escape for him. Yeah, we'll find a way to bring him to justice. Now then, let us continue with your testimony, Mr. Alba. Very well. The Steel Samurai special move and the various other scenes. Those moving scenes were seared into this old man's heart. I'll never forget them.
Hold it!
I agree, today will be a day to remember. Especially when we finally make you pay for all the wrongs you've committed. What? Hey, that's what the Steel Samurai says when he defeats the evil magistrate. Actually, that line was just something I ad-libbed. You may act all surprised, but naturally, you remember this line, don't you? Oh, of course I do. I just now understand how the evil magistrate felt, that's all. Then allow me to make you identify with the evil magistrate some more. Hey, then that makes you the Steel Samurai, huh? Well, if you had to complete the analogy, I suppose then yes. I do believe it's about time to bring the curtains down on this with a bang. Kay and myself were also in the audience with the Steel Samurai stage show. He's got nothing on the Jammin' Ninja, but he was still cool enough, I guess. Wasn't my brand new special finishing move totally rad? No, don't tell me! It was you who thought up the special move? Yep, what was it again? Extremely silly way jump! Was that it? No, wait, it was double breaking jump! Doesn't sound quite right. How can you forget a move you came up with? Final piece of Mr. Alba's alibi is that he was watching the Steel Samurai show. However, if he was busy killing Mr. Kochin, he should not have had the time to do so.
Objection!
The special move today was the early summer ranger. Is that your final answer?
Objection!
You little irritating gnat. You think you can trip me up by asking the same question over and over? That was not my intention. Your testimony is more than sufficient. However, I believe it would be wise for you to take a look at this. The samurai spear? What about it? This spear actually never made it on stage today. Excuse me? Unfortunately for you, tonight's Steel Samurai happened to be a goof of a young man with an abundance of useless hot-bloodedness. Beep. Having said that, said useless man bent the spear during his rehearsal this evening. Okay, do you remember what the Steel Samurai special move was tonight? It was the Steel Samurai Sushi Slash. Correct, because he couldn't use the spear, a last-minute change was made. Had you really been watching the show, you would have known the move that was used. Quirkusalba, you didn't watch even a single minute of the Steel Samurai stage show tonight, did you? Aha! So if he wasn't watching the show tonight, then it opens up the possibilities if he's busy killing Mr. Kojin instead. So, where were you during the show? I demand an answer now. Just what is so funny? You're so sloppy, and so are your conclusions. I still insist that I watch the show, or most of it in any case. What do you mean by most of it? Ah, you see, during the show, I left my seat for a spell to visit the bathroom. I assume that was when that dramatic scene was played out on stage. Yeah, it's the loudest excuse I've ever heard in my life, pal. That's because he got the name of the move wrong. Can't really use that as proof that he didn't watch the show at all. As a fan of the Steel Samurai, I wanted to watch the entire show, honest. As a Steel Samurai fan, or someone who wasn't even in his seat for the climax of the show, you have no right to call yourself a Steel Samurai fan ever. What? Who was that just now? It would be alright, young lady! Larry, what are you doing interrupting me like that? Hey, Gee! Fish! Oh, you may never accept this old man as Steel Samurai fan, but I totally think he's a Steel Samaniac! What exactly is a Steel Samaniac, Val? I believe he meant to say Steel Samurai Maniac. Yeah, and trust me, I know a real fan when I see one because I'm the Steel Samurai! I will never acknowledge you as a true Steel Samurai. What are you getting so worked up over, Miss Edgeworth? It appears that the real Steel Samurai recognizes me as a fan. As well as he should, for I am a fan. It's not as though I missed the entire show. It was the most amazing show, filled with the spirit of the young and the young at heart. Sarcasm dripping from his long... The sarcasm dripping from his long wooden nose couldn't run any thicker. Getting the name of the move wrong only proves that he didn't watch the last scene. What I really need here is something more definitive. Something that links Mr. Albert directly to the murder of Manny Kojin. You know what, Gramps? You're really something else. I'm honored to receive such praise from the Steel Samurai, but what is it for? Well, I was just wondering how you found out about the early Samurai Jab. That move is a bit of a secret that only a small portion of the staff know about. Wait, it was a secret? Larry, wait, what did you say? Oh, did I say something stupid again? Did you say that the early Samurai Jab was actually a secret? Well, maybe I shouldn't have said secret. It's more like we only decided on the name of the move right before the start of the show. Right before? Yeah, the stage director was going nuts because we were supposed to debut the move. About 5 minutes before the show, we threw it up on the dressing room's whiteboard. Early Samurai Jab. That's kind of how we decided the name of the move. But by that time, I'd already bent the spear, so I guess the whole thing was kind of pointless. All of you Steel Samurai actors are the same. The director has my complete sympathy. Long story short, because we changed the move to the Steel Sushi Slash, gotta pretend that the early Samurai Jab didn't exist at all. I mean, it'd be bad if someone found out we changed the move, so we made it a secret. Basically, a gag order was issued for publicity's sake. Almost makes the early Samurai Jab sound like a lost art. Yeah, which is why I think most of the staff haven't even heard of the move.
Objection!
Hold those slips of yours still.
What the heck, old man?
I've done nothing but listen, and from what I can tell, it's all very unrelated to the case. It's also very tedious and a pointless exercise and wasting time, much like a kid's show.
Objection!
Mr. Alba, I believe the one who should be quiet now is you. How dare you? I suspect that you have already noticed exactly what the very severe implications are in this man's testimony. Ha! So now you're trying to bully me, huh? There are no implications to be read into a behind-the-scenes story of a kid's show.
Not so fast!
Don't even think about trying to slither your way out of this, Quercus Alba.
You are the one who said it yourself that the name of the move was Early Summer Ranger. But that name was only decided upon right before the show was about to start. So, just what are you driving at?
That the name of the move you told us was never used in the show or said aloud.
Now then, would you care to tell us about how you found out the name of that move?
Because I could only think of one way you could have known.
Quercus Alba, this is the only way you could have known the name of the special move. No, it's not. It's not even worth it. You knew the name because you saw it. You saw it on the dressing room's whiteboard. The staff members who knew were keeping it a secret, so you couldn't have simply gone up to a staff member and asked, which means that the only other option left is that you saw it on the whiteboard. So that means Mr. Alba was in there at some point, right?
What's the big deal, sir? I don't see what that means.
There is another piece of evidence that has a great deal to do with the dressing room, so we can't afford to let this slide. This is related to both the dressing room and to Mr. Coach's murder.
Take that!
The pushcart that was used to move the body was right there in the dressing room. During the show, the pushcart awaited its turn to be pushed on stage in the dressing room. And it was finally pushed there along with the Iron Infant in the last scene of the show. And then, right after the show ended, it went to Alabasta along with the Steel Samurai. Which means that the only time the killer could have placed the body inside the pushcart was when the pushcart was in the dressing room backstage. Basically, the killer has to be someone who visited the dressing room during the show. Precisely. Oh, but wait! What if, and this is just a what if the murder took place right in the dressing room?
What do you mean, Kay?
I have to admit, she brings up a valid possibility. During the show, the dressing room was supposed to be devoid of people.
Slipping undetected into a private dressing room then would be as simple as pie.
The killer must have come up with the idea to move the body with the pushcart's end, too. Correct, thus making it the theater's dressing room. Thus, making the theater's dressing room the ideal location for the murder of Manny Kojin. Quercus Alba, during the show, you went down to the dressing room, and I want to know why. Yes. Yes, I was there. I went into the dressing room.
I knew it. I'm placing you under arrest right now, pal. You got that? Arrest.
Objection!
Not so fast.
What is it now?
Don't I deserve a chance to explain myself? Explain? What is there to explain? I believe I told you earlier that I went to the bathroom. Well, I got lost when I did. I wanted to ask for directions, but when I opened the dressing room door, no one was inside. And that's when I saw the name of the move on the whiteboard.
You punk! Still trying to get out of this?
Do you really think you can get away at this point? Mr. Edgeworth, isn't there anything you can do to stop him? I don't have enough evidence on hand to do anything. I don't have the airtight evidence I need to put this man away for good. But if that's what I need, then perhaps... Agent Lang, I believe an investigation of the dressing room in question is in order. It's possible that we may find new evidence there. Yeah, Mr. Edgeworth pokes around there, I'm sure he'll find some new facts, pal. Oh, and if we use the little thief, we may even learn something from a recreation.
We don't need to do any of that.
What? Wolfie? How could you?
I'm not saying this to be mean. It's just that we've already searched there. My men really are something else.
And they found nothing?
There's only one thing I can say to you, sis, and it's that they found nothing. That's all.
I guess you're right. If they had found something, they would have reported it to us. They couldn't find anything because there was nothing there to find. And if there's no info to feed into the little thief, then I can't do much to help either. Is this the end? The murder took place in this theater, which is not protected under extraterritorial rights. And the fact that it was Mr. Alba himself who committed the murder. If I can't prove both statements to be true, Mr. Alba walks away a free man. Is there no other course of action left to us? It would appear that your hand of cards has turned out to be a bust. Now, if you'll excuse me, because of you people, I missed my flight. Now I must make haste to arrange for a new one. Who is it this time?
Hold right there, you Bisabus!
First Larry, no you!
Where's with that scary mobs like
Color and face, Edgepoo. Don't treat me like I'm some sort of nuisance.
I've been meaning to say this, but all of you keep thinking about it. But all of you keep talking about things I don't get off.
You're all leaving this lady in the sad, depressing, lonely desert I'm about to cry in.
Why did you have to speak up right at this instant?
Well, you know what, Edgepoo? Cheer up, because I'm about to give you the most wonderful thing.
Most wonderful thing? From you?
It's super special that I couldn't give it away to just anyone, you know. Ah, my special present of love to my sweet Edgepoo. Are you ready? Is this?
It's... It's a box of those samurai dogs, right?
Yeah, so Edgepoo, here, go on and eat one and you'll feel as right as rain.
Are we through here?
Why did everyone get so quiet? Edgepoo! Tell me you understand the depths of this lady's love for you. I'm not one to hand out snacks willy-nilly, you know. No, sir.
A thought occurred to me that maybe it would be good if I fed you and made sure you weren't nice and full when there's my dream to serve you some of my own homemade food. I mean, isn't it the sign of a woman to make sure that their beloved never goes hungry? That's why I want to square so what they never do.
Miss Edgeworth, can't you do anything about her? There's no power on earth that can force that woman into silence.
I'm so sick and tired of it. All you people do is look down on me. Even this box of samurai dogs play me for a fool. It had a special design on its fan, like the Japanese flag, so I thought it was special.
When I ate one, it tastes just like
the rest. Ooh, it made me so mad.
Wait, special box with a Hinamaru-like fan on it. I've never heard of such a piece of merchandise existing before. However, there it is. The red sun on this fan is filled in. Is it actually a bloodstain? A very conveniently placed bloodstain? Fuck off. Is it possible? Could it be? After the show, the samurai dogs were piled up on the dressing room floor. However, there's no such thing as a Hinamaru dog. This contradiction of facts between something that should not exist and yet does. The rays from this red sun may be just what we needed to point us in the right direction. A present? The city bigwigs basically do display delivery boys. They were supposed to hand the dogs off to the embassy people and tell them hi. They had to pile them all up in the pushcart just to move them. I believe you understand what this means, correct? You killed Mr. Koshin in this theater and then placed his body inside the pushcart. And then, you forced the Seal Samurai to unwittingly move the body for you. It's time to piece the final pieces of this logic puzzle together. No matter how fragile or small the connections may be, once we've found them all, the way to the truth will be revealed. The killer used the pushcart to transport the body, which means that they had to remove the samurai dogs from within first. Therefore, the samurai dogs that were piled up on the dressing room floor were most likely taken out of the pushcart by the killer. that which should not exist, this box of samurai dogs with the Hinamaru on it, if this red sun was filled in when the killer was busy removing samurai dogs from the pushcart, then it's proof that the murder took place in the dressing room. As long as this red substance turns out to be what I believe it to be. Wendy, old bag? I thank you. What you have given to me is surely something very special.
Mr. Edward, are you sure you're feeling okay, sir?
Mr. Alba, I suspected you killed Mr. Kochin in the dressing room.
How many times must I listen to you repeat yourself? Haven't you figured it out yet? Your words are meaningless, worthless, and powerless. The only way I'm going to continue to cooperate is with some definitive evidence.
That arrogance, that self-confidence. You believe that you have erased every piece of evidence that could incriminate you. However, there remains one piece here, and it is what will put you away for good.
Ha! You're bluffing.
Oh, hey, Mr. Prosecutor. Sounds like you finally found them. You finally found the fangs we need to go after this guy's juggler. So tell us, what about that box of samurai dogs is going to put the old man away?
The trace evidence that will bring him down? Why, it's here, of course. This box of samurai dogs with a Hinamaru fan on it, this should never have existed. So I want you all to take a good look at this red spot. It's a single drop of blood. Huh?
What?
Blood, you say?
Agent Lang, I'd like this blood analyzed post-haste.
I've got to admit, I'm a bit surprised. I can't believe we found blood in a place like this. Hey, you, get this down to the lab pronto.
But why is there blood on that box to begin with? If we think about the flow of the crime, I think the reason will become obvious. Larry, you said that you transported the samurai dogs with the pushcart, correct?
Oh, yeah, you have a great memory, Edgy. That pushcart was a bit too big for my son, you know what I mean? So to make sure everyone could see him, I had to pile some stuff in. I figured the samurai dogs were there, so I used them to fill up the car.
What Larry says is true, then what were the boxes doing on the floor?
Oh, I see. Killer took them out in order to place the body in the pushcart.
Exactly. And that is when I believe the victim's blood found its way onto that box.
When my men investigated that room, not a single box of samurai dogs was in there. Because embassy staff members had already confiscated them.
Yes, no doubt to hide the evidence of the murder. It's a good thing Miss Elbag managed to steal that one box before they got to them, huh? Looks like Miss Elbag also managed to put this great thief to shame.
Where's got this way and put it out?
I didn't steal, I received it from myself.
Marcus Alba, I'd say this was one very fatal oversight on your part. Sorry to rain on your little love fest, however. How can he be so self-confident in a no-win situation for him like this? Even if that blood turns out to belong to Mr. Kochin, then what? Huh. So, Miss Edgeworth, it sounds like he's not ready to call it quits yet, huh? Sole piece of evidence that was left at the scene of the crime. That alone has shed light on a new fact. At the very least, we now have proof that the murder occurred in the dressing room. And you say that like it means something. Huh? Excuse me, sirs.
Report! What were the results of the analysis?
So, the analysis came back and confirmed that the right substance is blood.
I knew it! With this, Quercus Alba!
Mr. Edgeworth, I wonder if you might humor my question. Your question? One from before, or have you forgotten? Even if that is Mr. Kochin's blood, what difference would it make?
Like we already told you, it proves that the crime scene was that dressing room.
But it doesn't prove that I'm your killer, does it? He has a very good point. The blood on that box doesn't prove that Mr. Alba is the killer.
Then, this evidence, it's meaningless?
That can't be. We were so close, sir.
I want to smack that smug look off his face. Come on, there's got to be something we can do.
We finally found a solid piece of evidence.
Must be something I can expose with it.
Fingerprints? I can't think of a single thing. Now, if you'll excuse me, I'll be on my... Who was that? It's too late. I won't allow anyone to stop me now. It wasn't me, pal. It wasn't me this time either.
Wasn't me either.
It was me. What? Plano? Oh. Why did you... because I haven't finished reporting everything to you yet, sir. There's more? What? Hurry up and spit it out. Yes, sir. That blood I mentioned, it's not of the same blood type as the victim's blood. What? No. What? What? What do you mean it's not the same type? You mean it's not the victim's blood? If it isn't his, then who the hell is it? I don't know, sir. All I know is that it's not the same blood type as the victim, sir. What should we do now, Mr. Edgeworth? I have no idea what's what anymore. Neither do I. I wonder if it came from here. I wonder. My, what an amusing turn of events. That blood drop proved something to be true, alright? Namely, my words. And which one of your words would that be? The ones where I said that your words are meaningless, worthless, and powerless. That blood has nothing to do with the murder investigation whatsoever. Need I remind you that the blood got onto that box long before it entered my embassy? What sort of nonsense? Yeah, it's blood, pal. There's no way it's not related to the murder. So, you would like to believe. But what if someone preparing the samurai dogs had a small nosebleed? What then? I guess it's possible. Damn it! Have we been wasting our time on a red herring? The blood doesn't belong to anyone connected to the case. That should be clue enough. Quercus Alba, you bastard! Silence! Don't you ever address me with such a filthy word again. I've wasted enough time here with you, and you have your answers. Now let me through. Alba, doesn't matter where you run off to, you will never escape me. Someday I'll have the satisfaction of sinking my fangs into you. You'll see. And all of Interpol will be behind me, working to see to it that that day comes. You know what your words sound like to me? They sound like the whinings of a pathetic loser of a mutt. Arroo! Is this really the extent of all that we can do? Is the blood really from someone completely unrelated to the case? Or is there another possibility? Someone else other than the victim? Just when I thought I had him backed into a corner, it is I who had been backed into one. In a situation like this, what would that man do? What would he, who can turn any desperate situation around, do? Turn it around. That's it! I must turn my way of thinking around. It's not whose blood is this? It's whose blood could get onto the box like this. And if I think about it that way, if the blood got into the box when the body was being placed into the pushcart, then the owner of said blood must have been in the dressing room at the time. And there's only one person that could be. Well, I must praise you for trying so hard. It's because of you kids that I was removed from center stage. And will be forced to live out the rest of my life in the shadows, unfortunately. But it's not a total loss, as the underworld will allow me more freedom than you'll ever know. Freedom like what the raven feels as it flies through the dark night sky. You can't lay a finger on me, not now or ever. The arm of the law is powerless before me.
Objection!
Powerless, is it? I wouldn't be so sure about that if I were you. What do you mean? Allow me to describe you in one word. Pitiful. Pitiful? How so? Quercus Alba, your wings were clipped long ago. And for someone who is trying to fly away on them without noticing that fact, pitiful is a perfect word to describe you. Ha! Me words! What do you mean by his wings are clipped, Miss Edgeworth? Just what do you think it means, Kay? We had already caught him in our trap a while back, with an incredibly powerful definitive piece of evidence. Hey, Arthur, Mr. Prosecutor!
Can't you speak in English? What are you talking about? What piece of evidence?
The piece I speak of is, of course, this drop of blood.
But we know that it's not from the victim. I don't see how it remains relevant to the case at all.
Miss Von Karma, I believe that is exactly why it's very important to the case. And the part that is most important is the fact that it's not the victim's blood. You're looking a little pale. Good. And I believe you are already aware of what I mean.
And you know who the blood belongs to?
Of course I do. This piece of evidence is the irrefutable proof that will stop the killer in his tracks. The blood that soiled this box of samurai dogs belongs to this person.
Take that!
The blood of the red sun on this box belongs to you, Quercus-Alba.
What? Why is his blood on the box of samurai dogs? He's not even a victim.
The blood fell onto the box when Mr. Kojin's body was being loaded into the bush cart. At that time, the only two people in the dressing room were the victim and his killer.
That's what you mean. The blood doesn't belong to the victim. Then there's only one other reason it could belong to. Then there's only one other person it could belong to.
Yes, and that person is the murderer himself. That's the only logical conclusion.
Mr. Kojin was the one who stabbed. But Mr. Kojin was the one who was stabbed, sir. Why would Mr. Alba have been the one who was bleeding?
What if during the murder, Mr. Kojin had fought back?
You mean if before Mr. Alba could kill him, Mr. Kojin managed to wound Mr. Alba?
Yes, and I believe we have a piece of evidence that proves that he was bleeding then. What is the piece of evidence that shows that Mr. Alba was probably bleeding at the time?
Take that!
Mr. Alba, you bear on your body a great wound. That was from when Demas 2 attacked me with a pair of scissors.
Yeah, and that happened way after he was in the dressing room.
Ah, but is that what really happened? You can manufacture a weapon by smearing blood on it, so I can't just accept that as fact. Shall we try a test, Mr. Alba, and see if the shape of your wound matches the scissors?
Objection!
You really are something else, Mr. Edgeworth. You don't let a single thing slip you by, no matter how insignificant the possibility. You're one to talk, Mr. Alba. You managed to give the law the slip for 10 years as the smuggling ring's leader. No matter the danger, you can hide every last ounce of fear and anxiety from everyone. You truly are a one-of-a-kind criminal.
Objection!
I am the master of my fear. However, to think that a person such as you could miss such a large thing. You believe I've overlooked something? You said that my wound was caused by Mr. Kochin, and that it was caused here in one of the theater's dressing rooms, right? Yes, that is correct. I'd like to point out that it's simply not possible. My wound is a stab wound, and one that could only have come from a blade. I wonder where you will propose that such a weapon came from.
Ah, this theater was packed with security guards. It would have been impossible for anyone to come into this area with a weapon of any sort. Just as Mr. Alba was able to bring in the alabaster knife and a bouquet, there must have been some other way to sneak in a weapon of some sort.
Ah, but as long as you can't prove what that other way is, all your talk about Mr. Kojin stabbing me is pure nonsense. So, if that other way does exist, you better hurry and tell me now. With pleasure. Wait, what? This piece of evidence shows us how Mr. Koshin brought a weapon into the theater.
Take that!
Among law enforcement, this piece is known as the Yatagarazu's key. That key!
That's the key that my father stole from here 7 years ago.
And it is very unique in that it is both a key and a knife, meaning that under the guise of a key it could have been easily brought into the theater. You couldn't dispose of the knife that stabbed you. Therefore, you wiped off the blood and placed it back in Mr. Kojin's pocket. After all, the key itself opens the safe in his office. And inside that safe there was a document about Kadopian paper signed by Mr. Kojin. In order to make it look like Mr. Kojin died as the leader of the smuggling ring, you had to make it so that the police were the ones who opened that office safe. All that hard work to save yourself only served to destroy you in the end. Shall we try matching this knife's blade with your wound, Mr. Quercus-Alba? And that is what some may call the coup de grace.
Impossible. You can't take me down. Swine, all of you. Especially Manny Koshin. This is all because of that man's betrayal. He sought to steal control of the smuggling ring from me by removing me as ambassador. That's why I deserve to die while bearing the guilt for all my crimes for me. That's why I sent out the Eldegrassu's card, and how this incident was born. Man was supposed to be the smuggling ring's leader who was killed by the Eldegrassu. But I had yet another reason. Yet another story that was supposed to play out. Manny's death was supposed to bring everything to a close. And I would have gotten away with it too if it wasn't for you meddling prosecutors.
Mr. Alba, I'm afraid there is one more question I forgot to ask. This country's or Albast. This country's or Albast. Which country's court would you like to face first? Either way, it's game over for you. Okay. Did we just kill a man? Alright. March 17th, 11:21 a.m. District Court, final lobby number 2.
Woo! This is it, the big day. Mr. Alba's trial today.
Next week, he's scheduled to stand trial in his own country of Albast. Francesca is heading that one. I suspect she'll be serving as a full course of whiplashes at it. Having to face Miss Von Karma in court right after facing you, sir. Shut up. I don't even want to think of what that would be like. I caught a glimpse of Mr. Alba as he was being escorted into the courthouse. And boy, you looked about as glum as I do the day before I get my monthly paycheck. You know, I've been thinking that flight attendant and even Mr. Portsman were all Mr. Alba's secret agents. Correct. That smuggling ring was the common thread between all of the incidents. Camille was to provide support during smuggling ops using her job as an attendant, and Mr. Portsman was to manipulate trials related to the ring to end in their favor. Oh, go you airlines and even the prosecutor's office. No one was safe on the smuggling ring, Gasha. I suspect there are even more members of this ring spread throughout the world. Yeah, sounds like such a big op that I can't even begin to imagine what it's like. What is it, Detective? Nothing. It's just, well, come to think of it, Mr. Eros Amano's trial is also scheduled for later today, sir. I'm aware of that. Mr. Amano has been working with the smuggling ring now for over 10 years. He used the Amano Group's various connections worldwide to assist the ring. But all of that has come to an end as his conglomerate is now undergoing harsh scrutiny. I owe Mr. Amano a debt of gratitude, but he must pay his debt to society. Well, with the arrest of both Mr. Alba and Mr. Amano, I guess that about wraps up the KG8 incident as well, huh? I suppose so. The real killer on the KG8 incident 10 years ago was Manny Kocher. And 7 years ago, the killer on the second KG8 incident was Mac Rowell. Those two facts are the unshakable truth. However, it seems that a lot of effort was put into hiding these and other truths from us. And I will expose it all at the trials today.
You're solving cases left and right today, aren't you, sir?
CCU and Dead Man. Perhaps now these two brave souls who tried to make the truth known can rest in peace. By the way, I received some gifts from Ambassador Paleno. Shrimp, crab, beef. I don't need any of these, so I'm giving them to you.
What? Seriously, sir?
Wait, actually, I don't think I want them anymore. The way you are holding them, don't tell me they're just coupons, sir. Detective Gumshoe, have you not read the paper recently? Ever since the two countries became Kidopia again, its economy has changed.
Really?
And it seems that Ambassador Paleno has reaped a few benefits of his own from it. He has been announced as the official ambassador of the newly reunified Kidopia.
Ah, but what a pity. Even though every item he sent is a treasure, you don't seem all that interested. What? Is this...
Oh, okay.
Ah, but what a pity. Even though every item he sent is a treasure, you don't seem all that interested. Well, if you don't want them, I can give them to my lovely assistant, Kay.
Wait, that's not what I said. So, Mr. Edgeworth, please let me have them, sir.
Actually, come to think of it, where is Kay? How come she's still not here? Hey, you've got to be more alert than that. I can't believe you didn't notice. I was even mimicking Mr. Edgeworth's voice for a bit.
I totally didn't notice you. Realize that voice was you.
Lang Z says ferocious love blooms with each new spring.
Agent Lang, pleasant surprise to see you here.
It's been a long time since I set foot in a courthouse. I wasn't gonna miss watching the guy who screwed up my country finally get what's coming to him. Well, that and something else. I want to see you in action in court.
Is that so, Agent Lang?
We flushed out all of the counterfeit bills, so Zengfa is finally at peace again. And it's all thanks to you, so I just want to say, thanks.
Wow, I never thought I'd see the day old Wolfie says thanks to Mr. Edgeworth. I should be the one thanking you, Agent Lang. If you hadn't negated Mr. Alba's extraterritorial rights, I would not have been able to bring him to trial. I believe the victory belongs to the both of us in this case.
Shared victory, huh? Look, don't get me wrong. I'll still never forgive you, prosecutors. And I have zero interest in that truth thing you talk about in court. I've always done things my own way, and that's not about to change. You got that?
I see. Well, I believe you should follow your own creed when you do your job.
Yeah, and if there's ever someone your precious truth can't catch, feel free to sit around and cry about it all you want. But as for me, I'm going to get that person no matter what.
Alright. It's about time for the trial to start. I will see you later.
I'll be watching your performance from the gallery. I'm looking forward to this.
I prepared a whole ton of ticker tape for today's victory, sir. I'll help throw some around when Mr. Edgeworth wins.
Hope you've got enough, because I'm gonna go call my men up as well.
A modest amount of ticker tape goes a long way. The scene shifts to the courtroom, and the final act of this long tale begins. The legend of the great thief Yatagarasu. It's the story of those who chose to dedicate their lives to the pursuit of the truth. Prosecutors are those who seek a guilty verdict for the defendants they meet. And to that end, you have no choice but to win by any means necessary. That creed was forced on me since I was very young. However, I no longer think that is all we prosecutors are. And that is because... even though I've only been away from the courtroom for a short time, I feel as though it's been a lifetime since I've set foot in one. Today, more than any other day, I feel the fight within me rising. Objection! There you go. Ah, the memories. Good times.
I'm really in Mr. Edgeworth's death for the other day. Thanks to him, I'm still free to serve in the friendly blue skies. Oh, so about my suitcases. I've been selling them on the internet and they've become a real sensation. Thanks to the praise the art world has lavished on my work as being truly postmodern. The airline has chosen me to design their new line of Go-You jumbo jets. Just think, someday you will be able to take a ride in my pink-walled, yellow-seated jet.
Sounds wonderful.
Edgeworth? That rudeness of a rude man. Because of him, my time and money is wasted. But more importantly, I received the most fantastic treasure recently. The Primidu statue of the Principality of Godopia. It weighs a bit light in my hands, but the Ambassador Polino was most generous.
Okay, so he gave him the fake one, I guess? We finally caught Agent Hinks' killer, and I was able to witness Mr. Alba's teary eyes. It feels good to finally bring everything to a close. I received another offer from Interpol to work another case in cooperation with them. However, the Kudopian courts evade. Kudopia's air is supposed to be very fresh, so my VIP should find new vigor there.
This little patrolman has been fired as of today, sir! I thought it was safe since we found the gun I had dropped. But I had noticed that I dropped my police badge too, sir! I guess what really broke the camel's back was that I couldn't find my badge. My little life is suddenly tripped into a dark black hole, sir! I think I'll go to the courthouse and file a complaint with Ruffles Man!
Doesn't even know my name. I was actually hoping to talk with Mr. Edgeworth a bit more than I did. But I've got to get going and return to Europe. Still got a long way to go and a lot of stuff to study there. Next time I help Mr. Edgeworth on a case, I'm gonna do it as a real forensic scientist. I'm sure he's gonna need all the help I can give him, scientifically.
There's a kidnapping was safe. I was let off easy. But I won't be going outside much anytime soon, but that's really okay. The only prison I'm forever trapped in is the cage of love. God damn it, the Tertius setter. Well, when he's on guard duty, he has such a cold look in his eye, just like the prosecutor. But dump. Ah, stop it, Lauren. When will you ever learn to stop being a prisoner of love?
Oh.
Appears there are all sorts of drama that takes place outside the courtroom. Since we judges are here day in and day out, I've only heard a few rumors, but apparently Mr. Edgeworth teamed up with a thief and became a detective. Maybe I should team up with a bailiff and try to become a lawyer or something. Ho ho ho, that sounds like fun.
What?
Phew, I barely escaped death yet again.
Yeah, but boy, were we lucky to have Mr. Edgeworth help us out, huh?
Yeah, but because I lost the key, I got fired from my security guard job.
Don't let it get to you down, Maggie. You've still got me.
You're right, sir. I won't be sad. I'm gonna pick myself up and get through this. I wonder what my next job should be. Oh, this is actually kind of fun.
Why not come to Catopia for your summer vacation? We have coupons aplenty. Right now, our embassy is proud to present our Let's Investigate a Murder show. Although recreating that particular case has created a few small fires of its own, then we had a few problems with the fire marshals. Well, the next event will be great. It will be an attraction entitled Capture the Adagarasu. Of course, I hope that Liz K's help in creating our latest attraction.
I can't believe that Mindy ditched me and went to Japan.
But it's okay, because that's how I met Miharu. We're planning to go to Paris soon and start a business. We're gonna sell blue Asian dogs. They'll sell like hotcake hot dogs for sure. A blue hot dog and a blue bun. I guarantee it'll turn your tongue and your face blue. I know I'm not really the type to work a lot or at all really, but oh, so I noticed that I really haven't seen this guy in the blue suit at all recently. I wonder what's up. Well, next time we meet, I'm gonna make him eat one of my dogs. Luckily, that didn't happen. Detective Bad? I gave testimony in court today as a member of the Yatagarasu.
Yo, Mr. Bad, you look well, all things considered. By the way, have you noticed that elements within the ring have begun moving?
They're probably fighting over who should succeed, over who should be the next boss. Although, to be honest, I wish I could forget I'd ever heard of that smuggling ring.
Lang Zi says thoroughly bite the poisonous snake from head to tail. No one runs afoul of the law and escapes this wolf's fangs. I'll get you all yet.
Ah, youth. When did I become so old, I wonder? I've begun noticing the gray hairs in my beard, Mo. I'm thinking of retiring my mirror.
Wendy. I was the Pink Princess and the Pink Badger all in the span of 2 days. Talk about busy. But it's alright because I got a letter from my beloved Itchypoo. Please take care of your hip, and when you wish to speak, first take off your headpiece.
What does he mean by the last segment? So like I enjoy being under a headpiece every time I see him. I've been an alien, there's some creepy fuzzy pink animal, they're always the big princess, a great hero of justice, I'm saying I make them idea.
Okay. Oh, that's it? Oh! There's more, okay. March 17th, 4:33 p.m., High Prosecutor's Offices, room 1202. Whoop! I failed so much better now that the trial's over. And as always, your legal prowess was top-notch, sir. Yeah, nothing beats the look on Mr. Alba's face when you revealed the ring's secrets. I was amazed. You're like a totally different person when you step into a courtroom. Mr. Edward is always 10 times fiercer in court. Based on the information Mr. Alba offered up, they've begun large-scale operations to clean up the rest of the ring, which I'm happy to leave to Francesca and Agent Lang. So, what are your plans now, Kay? Oh, well, we've taken care of the creep who killed my father, so I'm not sure. Hey, I know. Maybe I'll just keep on being Mr. Edward's assistant. Are you still trying to steal my job, pal? Just kidding, just kidding. I can't steal something so important to you, Kame. Phew, what a relief. Okay? Yes? Even after all that's happened, are you still planning to become a great thief? Of course. I don't want to tarnish the legend of the noble Yatagarasu, so I'm going to hold off on doing anything until I make a tight 3-person team on my own. A 3-person team? A 3-person team of young beauties the same age as me, if possible. With those criteria, I highly doubt you'll find the 2 other people you need. My father chose to fight for the truth. I think that's what was so noble about him. So you see, Mr. Edgeworth, the only things I will ever steal are the truths that have been hidden away. I'm going to work extra hard to make a world where the Yatagarasu isn't needed. Let's both strive for such a future. Well, I guess it's time for me to get going. I see. Okay? Keep your chin up and stay strong, okay? Don't be a stranger. Don't worry, I'll be back. I'll be sure to break the lock on the window and sneak in. If you could, I'd appreciate it if you came in through the building's front door. It's okay, Mr. Edgeworth. The lock on my window at home has been broken forever. Oh, one last thing before I go. Let's take a group picture, just the 3 of us. Yeah, commemorative photo. Every big case has to end with one. No. Hey, why not? Don't tell me your camera is shy, Mr. Edgeworth. Of course not, Detective. Come on, Mr. Edgeworth. I'm taking the picture now. Hey, come back here. Mr. Edgeworth, you can't run away from this, sir. Hey, Detective Gumshoe. Stop that. I can't be seen doing that. Okay, I'm totally taking it now. Say cheese. And thus, the long tale of the KG-8 incident came to a close. It saw the demise of a smuggling ring and the birth of a little great thief. But there is little time to rest and relax. for I am eager to tackle the investigation into a new case. The reason for my eagerness is my want to pursue the truth and my want to believe in the strength of those who use the power of the law for good. As someone who has chosen to live my life as a prosecutor, that is my new creed. Alright. There we go. That's it. Complete. We've done it. We've completed the case. We've completed the first game. Ace Attorney Investigations 1. Done. So, there we go. We had a little setback, but now we're back, and, yeah. We're probably not gonna do a stream tomorrow. We'll probably be back on Sunday, maybe. Maybe. I'll have to hold off on that. But yeah, for now, thanks to everyone who's been watching from start to finish, and that's it. Yeah, thanks for watching, and until the next one.